Going on, everybody? Welcome to another week. It is August 3rd, Monday evening. The year is 2020, and the surrealness keeps on trucking along. Well, we're a couple of seconds in. Let's wait for the room to fill up a little bit. I'm not going to keep you guys waiting too long. I got stuff to get to. I got names to read out. I got a bunch to touch on, as I usually do. And as usual, Facebook is not notifying any members of my group that I'm coming on. Or if they are, it's very sporadic. So this is My Political Truth, and my name is Jerry Tomchinsky. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I'm very happy to have you guys with me, whether you're watching live or you're watching a rebroadcast. I am very happy and very grateful for every single view that I get. So I want you guys to know that whether it's a watch party or it's live, I really appreciate all of the views. Hey, Al and Paul, thank you very much. I appreciate it. Toronto, Canada in the house. Very much appreciate that. So today we are going to start about my favorite topic besides endorsing President Trump. It is discussing his opponent, Jim Crow Joe. And, you know, all of you never Trumpers that hate President Trump, I mean, I get it. You hate the guy. Nothing I could do to change your mind. And that's fine. A lot of you people choose to like him and hate him based on his personality, his actions, his tweeting, and not pay attention to the results, the policies, the economy that we had, the unemployment records that were at record lows in every demographic. You never Trumpers, you don't want to give the man credit for anything. No matter what he does, you will never give him a modicum of credit. And you lunatics on the left have made that abundantly clear. But I want to gesticulate on this for a minute. It's becoming more and more evident to me, and from what I hear and from the different people that I speak to, it's becoming more and more evident to the Democratic Party that Mr. Biden is not going to make it to the election. Have you guys noticed he was supposed to announce his running mate on the 1st? We are now at the end of business on the 3rd, and it's already been postponed several times. The reason he's not announcing who his running mate is because the Democratic Party does not know if he's going to make it to Election Day. Now, I've talked about this before, that I thought that whoever was going to be his running mate was going to be the de facto president. If he should win, God forbid, a million times over, my God, bite my tongue. If he should win, the vice president is going to be the de facto president. And that's a problem. That's a very big problem. Joe Biden is experiencing a significant cognitive decline. And the Democrats don't believe he will be the one leading the country should he win. And they fully have embraced that. The problem is they thought they would just be able to kind of, walk him on stage, kind of like Weekend at Bernie's type thing, just prop him up, little piece of wood in his back, keep him standing, let him read off the cards, don't take any questions. But now you see the panic setting in. You got the New York Slimes posting freaking headlines saying that Joe Biden shouldn't debate President Trump. No, they know he shouldn't. We all know what's going to happen if he gets on stage with President Trump. Hi, babe. Hi, mom. Welcome. Do you think it's a coincidence that his choice for VP has been delayed? I mean, the Democrats are in a tailspin right now, and all they're gonna try to do is distract. And we saw that with the mockery that they called Capitol Hill hearings last week. That was a complete mockery and a sham, and it was a complete embarrassment to our country that a group of elected officials can go on national TV and completely abuse, harass, and insult one of the most important men in this country at this time. No class. No class. Let me ask you Democrats this question. And I know, again, the Democrats never speak up. The left that watches me, they never, ever speak up. They talk quietly in the corners, in their safe spaces. But let me ask you this question. If this wasn't a presidential election, but you were sitting like on a board of directors and the election was to put, your decision was going to put Joe Biden in charge of your country, of your company rather. Make him the chairman of the board, the CEO. And that decision lay in your hands. If this was your company, I ask again, and your income, your livelihood, your legacy of that company depended on Joe Biden, would you Democrats put him in that position then? I didn't think so. So why the hell would you endorse or elect or support this man for the highest office in the country? Yeah, Trump would absolutely eat Biden alive. And that's the thing. That's the thing. The Democrats know it. The Democrats know it. The Republicans know it. The Libertarians know it. The moderates know it. The donkeys, the elephants, the horses, the penguins, the bunnies, and my dog Luna. Everybody knows it. It is not a freaking secret. President Trump would eat this man alive. And after what I just said, if you say that you still would put Joe Biden as head of your company, knowing his cognitive decline is as fast as it is, and he's going down, he's taking the whole ship down with him. Let me tell you that right now. If you say that you would put him in charge of your company, then you're a damn liar, and I don't want you voting in my election anyway. Good God. People sometimes ask, what hypocrisy? And these are the Democrats that ask me this, right? What hypocrisy am I talking about when it comes to the Democrats, the elites? Just the complete scumbaggery of Washington and politics. All you hear on a daily basis, right? All you hear on a daily basis from Murphy and Governor Cuomo and the, what's her name? Hitler in Michigan. What the hell is her? Whitmer. Whitmer sounds the same, is the same. All you hear is that if you go to one of these cities that or states that has the big breakout, you need to quarantine for 2 weeks. Okay. I want to know when Cuomo and the rest of the governors and Obama and Bush and Clinton and all of them were at John Lewis's funeral last week in Georgia. Are they all going to quarantine when they get back home? Or is it going to be the continuation of the Democrats' edict of do as I say, not as I do? I'm just curious. The Democrats are a joke. They are a complete and utter joke. They can't lead. They can't lead by example. Every single Democrat-run city in the United States right now, every one of those mayors is derelict of their duties. 36 of the 50 largest cities in the United States have seen double-digit spikes in homicides. These are all Democrat-run cities, ladies and gentlemen. Democrat-run cities. 36 out of 50. The other 50 are Republican. You could check that out. The other 14, rather, are Republican mayors. You could check that. It's all verifiable. But yet, you ask any of these left lunatic imbeciles about the violence, the protests, the riots. It's a myth. It's a freaking myth. I mean, Governor Cuomo, Il Duce, had the absolute effrontery to come out and call out the NYPD for not giving out enough citations to bars and restaurants that are not keeping up on social distancing rules. But he's not concerned that there have been 7 murders in 7 days in New York City. That's not a concern. No, let's make sure we make life as difficult as possible for the business owners, for the law-abiding citizens. And we're going to let the scumbags and the criminals run roughshod all over the city. That's what it's turned into. You Democrats are a damn joke. Okay? And if you vote for a Democrat, if you support Democrats, how can I possibly take you seriously? Tell me that. How can I possibly take you seriously? It is a disaster what's going on coast to coast in these cities, in these states. Joe Rogan, everybody knows Joe Rogan, UFC, he's a comedian, real funny guy, brilliant, brilliant dude. Don't get me wrong, I don't agree with probably 50% of the stuff that he says, but he's a smart guy. He's civil in the way that he speaks. If you disagree with him, he's not going to bite your damn head off and insult you. He's moving the hell out of California. And I promise you, he's not the only one. Between Gavin Newsom and Pelosi, it's the all-star team of Titanic. They want to see who could sink that state faster. Joe Rogan is, without a doubt, I would say probably one of the 10% of somewhat normal celebs left in Hollywood. The rest of them are either pedophiles or they support this whack job running on the left. Or they support the criminal that was there before President Trump. And they actually have the audacity to sit and talk trash about President Trump. They don't know what else to do. They don't know what else to do. They have no facts. They have absolutely no facts at all. Come on, listen, let's conduct an experiment, right? Everybody within the sound of my voice and watching my video right now, pick one of your Democrat friends, right? Give them a call tonight, text them, whatever you want to do, and bring up some topic, right? Bring up some topic that, of course, you'll back up with facts. And when they realize they have lost, they will start insulting you. And you will automatically be a racist and a white supremacist, because what else can you be if you're a Trump supporter? And they're not even embarrassed about this. They're not embarrassed. They're not ashamed of any of this. Now, the politicians, okay, listen, they're politicians. They chose to be elected and be put in front of the public and be made a spectacle of. So they chose this. So now they gotta go down with this sinking ship, no matter what. Because then, if they go against everything else the left is saying, then they're the bad guy. Listen, look at Larry Elder. Look at what they do to Larry Elder. This is a smart black man who supported Barack Obama back in 2008 in his first run. And then when he saw that Obama literally did nothing in his first 4 years, did less than nothing, he took away from the country. The man started supporting conservatives. And from that moment on, when he was supporting conservatives, they were calling him an Uncle Tom. They called him a, quote, house N-word. I won't say it here. They called him some revolting things. And this is his own party, his own people calling him that. I thought Black Lives mattered. Well, unless you support a conservative or President Trump, because they're still not talking about that poor man that was killed in Seattle for standing around with a, God forbid, he should have a pro-Trump sign. He gets stabbed to death and nobody says a goddamn thing. Nobody says a thing. He got no time on CNN or MSLSD. The only place he's getting any burn is on Fox News and One America. And I don't want to have to keep repeating myself. But listen, if I got to choose any media outlet, those three will be the ones that will tell me the truth some of the time. Don't get me wrong. Anybody that tells me too much about one side, whether it's left or right, sorry, but I'm too much of a skeptic to buy all of it all the time. But of all the evils, those three are the least. The officer that shot and killed Michael Brown in Missouri will not be criminally charged for the death of Mr. Brown. And I'm sure you haven't heard much about this because, in essence, this is now the second time that this man has been vindicated. If you remember the whole hands up, don't shoot nonsense. Yeah, Michael Brown got killed because he went for the officer's gun. I don't care if you're black, white, brown, yellow, purple, Alf, Barney the dinosaur. You go for a cop's gun, you're going to get shot or you're going to get a beating. Rightfully so. So 6 years ago, or whenever this happened, 5 years ago, the grand jury in St. Louis County did not want to indict this officer. They didn't have the evidence. Now, this St. Louis County's top prosecutor, Wesley Bell, comes out and says, quote, "We cannot prove beyond a reasonable doubt that a crime occurred. My heart breaks for Michael's parents. I know this is not the result that they were looking for and that their pain will continue forever." Okay. Why aren't CNN, MSLSD, the rest of them, the New York Slimes, the Washington Post, why aren't they coming out and retracting the smear job they did on this officer? Why aren't they retracting how they ruined this man's life? I'm just curious. Nobody is held to any accountability. Period. It's not even, it's not a mystery. It's there in plain sight. CNN, MSNBC, the New York Times, the Washington Post, the Drudge Report, any leftist rag you want to think of, none of them get held to any kind of standard. None of them get called out for lying. Yeah, Kerry, the lawsuit they got coming their way is, that's from him, from the officer. And what about this Nick Sandman kid? Good for him. He's getting money. He's getting paid, and rightfully so. All he did was stand there and smile in the face of adversity, and he got smeared by New York Times, CNN, Washington Post, your usual suspects. He's already settled for upwards of $300 to $400 million. His attorney is a gentleman by the name of Lynn Wood. Look this guy up. He doesn't lose. Mark my words, by the time they are done, Nick Sandman is going to be a billionaire. He's going to be a billionaire because of the smear job that these newspapers and these rags did to him. Did they really? Kerry says they violated the confidentiality of the settlement agreement. Well, there's a surprise. There's a surprise. Jeff Zucker, the head of CNN, needs to step down immediately. Immediately. All of these people need to be held accountable. So, I want to go through some of these names, huh? I got this, I was going to do this today anyhow, but this was posted by a friend of mine. Greg, if you're out there, thank you very much for this. Made my job a lot easier today because I wanted to discuss this. But the first list of names that visited PEDO-ISLAND with the scumbag combo of Jeffrey Epstein and Ghislane Maxwell. let's go through these names. And then the ones that I know and the ones that mean anything, I'm going to comment on. And for anybody that knows, I'm going to tell you guys right now, all I have here is just a list of names, right? Whatever comments I'm going to have are going to be off the cuff. And I'm going to tell you how I really feel about these people, if somebody should ring a bell. We're going to start off right away. Huma Abedin. Do you guys remember her? She was the main campaign advisor to Hillary 4 years ago. She is also Anthony Weiner's ex-wife. She's an ex-wife now, right? I mean, if your husband is caught trying to hook up, I guess, with underage girls, I think that's reason for dissolution of marriage. What do you guys think? She stayed with him through the first time because, come on, it's political. You guys all know it's political. She did it to save face, and Hillary, I guarantee you, the first time that they caught this guy doing the dirty nastiness that he does, Hillary told her to stay with Anthony Weiner. I mean, look what Hillary did. She took a beating and then made a career out of it. You know? And rumor has it that a lot of bad incriminating emails were found on Anthony Weiner's laptop when they served a warrant for Anthony and Huma's place back in New York. I guess this was 4 years ago. And what they were expecting to find on this laptop was evidence of Anthony Weiner trying to meet up with underage girls. Well, what they found was a lot more. So from what I understand, there were 12 NYPD officers involved in that raid, along with FBI and other federal agencies. From what I understand, and I did confirm several of these, 9 out of the 12 NYPD cops that were involved in this raid have committed suicide. More Clinton people committing suicide. Yeah, I believe that. Let's go. Let's keep going through these names. Laura Silsby, Rachel Chandler. Those two names, I believe those are two of the girls that were underage at the time. Obviously, Jeffrey Epstein, Ghislane Maxwell. These next two names are very interesting. John and Michael Podesta. Oprah's the worst, Corey. I'm sorry I got cut off. I'm looking at comments as I'm reading off these names. Oprah is the absolute worst. Oprah has the means and the money to cover all of this up. And that's what she's doing. She's protecting her friends. And I guarantee, listen, you don't protect savages like these pedophiles without being guilty yourself. Because, listen, I cannot find myself helping anybody through anything as vile, as disgusting as something like that, no matter how close of a friend they are, if I'm not also complicit. How can... Let's look at it like this. Say somebody knocks on my door, right? I answered the door. Hey, Jerry, what's up? Guy sits down at my table. We share a beer. Tells me, so listen, I got some skeletons in my closet I got to get rid of. So I've been molesting kids for the last 15. Listen, one of two things are going to happen. Either that person is going to prison that night or they're not leaving my house. You cannot come to a normal person who is not sick with this kind of stuff and say that you do something as heinous as that, and then they choose to cover it up for you and help you hide. Come on, you gotta be complicit. Wasn't Oprah's boyfriend convicted of some crimes to do with children? I believe I read that. I wouldn't doubt it. I'm gonna get to a certain name in a minute, and I'm gonna pontificate on that for a second. So we got John and Michael Podesta. John was very, very close confidant of another one of Clinton, Hillary. James Alefantis. Anthony Weiner, we talked about him earlier, Huma Abedin's ex-husband, the another child molester. I mean, this is completely believable. If we talk about somebody's pattern of action or pattern of criminality or pattern of sexual deviancy, Anthony Weiner fits that pattern. How many times has he been pinched already? You got Leslie Wexner, Limited Incorporated chairman, Herbert Strauss, Isidore Strauss. Listen, look up the Strausses. They're way up there with the rest of the elites. Steven Spielberg, Edgar Bronfman Sr., Charles Bronfman, all from Seagram's company. Michael Steinhardt, former hedge fund manager, Sarah Bronfman, Clara Bronfman, Niles Lehman, he's a professor at Portland State University. Seth Rogen. Seth Rogen, let me get into this self-hating, self-deprecating POS. Not only is he uneducated, but he can't even hide, A, his level of stupidity, and B, his self-hatred for him being a Jew and for the state of Israel. So he posts on Twitter something, and I'm going to paraphrase here, but it sounded this stupid. Oh, I can't believe... when the people of Israel got to Israel in 1948, there was other people there. Meaning, what he's trying to insinuate is that Israel strong-armed their way into the country. Well, of course there were other people there. I mean, you guys all know Seth Rogen's Jewish, right? Seth Rogen, Jerry Nadler, Ruth Ginsburg, Dianne Feinstein, self-hating Jews up and down D.C. and Pedowood. All of them. Speaking of Ruth Ginsburg, she's next on this list after Seth Rogen. Ruth Ginsburg, you see her? They put her on TV when they report that she gets sick now every week. I mean, they need to stop with this lady. She needs to retire, step back. But she won't. She won't. Because if she does, while President Trump is in office, he gets to appoint another Supreme Court justice. And they are going to drag her out. Poor lady. Another one that they're going to prop up like it's Weekend at Bernie's. Because they are putting all their chips in the center, and they really, 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 really want to believe that whoever their Democratic candidate is going to win. Let's go to some of the Hollywood names of the pedophiles that were at Pedo Island. Steven Spielberg, Michael Jackson, shocker. Kevin Spacey, we all know about him. Allison Mack, Mark Collins Rector, founder of Den. Chad Shackley, Brock Pierce, David Geffen. Geffen Records, very, very big in the 80s and 90s. I believe Guns N' Roses was signed under Geffen Records initially. Dustin Hoffman, Andrew Kreisberg, Bryan Singer. Let's talk about this scumbag for the last minute and a half that I have. So Bryan Singer, very, very quietly, back in 2014, was accused in a civil lawsuit of a civil lawsuit, meaning it wasn't a criminal lawsuit because they probably were able to hide the criminal part. He was accused in a 2014 civil lawsuit of allegedly drugging and raping actor Michael Egan. So not only was this scumbag at Pedo Island with the underage girls, but he also liked to rape, drug, and molest underage boys. Am I getting that right? Am I understanding that correctly? Listen, if you guys want to really get your socks knocked off and hear more about this pedowood stuff, check out Corey Feldman's documentary. It was supposed to be on Netflix, and it was scrapped. I wonder why. He named a lot of people in that documentary, and he also alleges that, if you guys remember, a lot of you are my age, grew up in my time, his kind of acting they were their own little brat pack type of deal, rat pack or whatever the hell they call themselves. Corey Haim and Corey Feldman, the two Coreys. There's a documentary called The Two Coreys, and then there's Corey Feldman's own documentary. I think it's called My Truth. And what he does is really get into the sickness of Pedowood. Yeah, they killed Corey. I agree, Corey. They without a doubt, I think, killed Corey Haim because he had a lot of information. And the fact that Corey Feldman is still alive is a big mystery to me. There are a lot more names to go over, but I am at over 30 minutes, so I'm going to end this like I do every one of my broadcasts with a quote. This one comes from Eleanor Roosevelt. Sometimes I wonder if we shall ever grow up in our politics and say definite things which mean something, or whether we shall always go on using generalities to which everyone can subscribe, and which mean very little. Thank you guys for joining me. I'll see you again tomorrow, same time, same place. Enjoy the rest of your night.